Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now November 30th of 2023, and given that Disney has been going through a lot of failures throughout this year, with the Marvels and Wish being the latest examples, by the way, and to make matters even worse for Bob Iger's situation as CEO, they of course viewed their Wish movie as their last saving grace of this year before they head into 2024, which is a barren year to begin with, especially with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and other Disney titles. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, as for Snow White 2025, and yes, I say Snow White 2025 because it was delayed, for those of you that do not know, from March of next year until that year of 2025. That really, of course, has a lot to do with several factors. Now, we know that CGI dwarfs are a central part of the story right now, which is another prime example of how Disney's DEI agenda is so hypocritical and flawed. The fact that they are now embracing CGI dwarfs instead of actually hiring real dwarfs just goes to show you Disney's true nature. Now, when it all dwindles down to Rachel Zegler, we know that she has been going through a lot of difficult scenarios, not just with Lionsgate, not just with Sony Pictures, but also with Disney, so let's get into exactly what's going on here. Now, we know that Rachel Zegler's time at Disney was very short-lived, and it was a very difficult one at that. She caused a PR nightmare when she said what she said about Snow White 1937 and what she said about Andrew Burnap and his scenes quite possibly getting cut from Snow White. This created a ripple effect of her overall stance at Disney. However, with Rachel Zegler currently going through many issues in her acting career with Lionsgate and other studios, one in particular has to do with her situation with Disney and how Rachel Zegler is already preparing to take legal action against Disney as a response to her believing that she was wrongfully fired from over 5 projects by the company. Now, one crucial update to this ongoing drama is that Zegler is reportedly now preparing to take a legal stance against Disney that's being put together by her team, such as her agent and manager. As it turns out, Zegler was signed on via a contract to do 3 Snow White movies that she was fired from, based on her PR disaster. Now, this firing of Zegler led to Disney holding no choice but to cancel the 2 sequels that were planned to turn Snow White into a full-fledged trilogy, along with 1 prequel movie centering on the evil queen starring Gal Gadot that went haywire. Now, Zegler is already in the process of gathering a legal stand against Disney as she believes her PR mishap was not enough of a reason to get her fired, as she viewed her comment as harmless. To make matters even worse of her situation is that she was also fired from a multi-film contract deal that was going to revolve around 3 Pirates of the Caribbean reboot movies that she was also signed on for by contract behind the scenes as one of the main characters, and that Zegler was immediately fired from those films after her PR nightmare about Snow White. As it turns out, Disney was just about to announce Zegler's addition to the Pirates movies until everything went south. As if it couldn't get any worse, even Disney asked Zegler to apologize to the public about her Snow White comments, and she refused. And this also led to further movements by Disney to remove and fire her from those roles. Now, the shocking part of this is Zegler believes that she was in the right and not in the wrong based on her PR mishap, and refusing to apologize, and that this was also a reason for Disney to let her go. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this. The fact that Zegler went as far to refuse to apologize to the general public, in my opinion, that is all the more reason for Disney to really stand their ground and fire Zegler on, right away. Now, look, I'm not defending Disney at all in any way, shape, or form, but this is probably the one good move that they made to save whatever kind of image that they have left in order to kind of just keep, whatever is left of Disney available. Now, we know that Zegler really believes that she is all that. She believes that she's the next it girl. She believes that she's the next big thing in Hollywood, and that's what her team was trying to make her turn into, right? Her agent and manager really wanted to make her the next Jenna Ortega or something around those lines, and that's why Disney has all eyes on Jenna for the Pirates reboot movie right now. Now, what's interesting about that has a lot to do with this, is that, and finally, Zegler was keyed in to do extensive voiceover work for a new animated film code-named Dream, where she was going to do voiceover work as a main character. This film is set to center on characters based in people's dreams, and Disney plans to make this the new Frozen as far as success goes. Zegler and her team are already in the process of gathering a legal team to go against Disney in a desperate attempt for Disney to reinstate her roles for the Pirates movies and the animated film. Of course, the Snow White sequels are dead in the water since they were cancelled after Zegler's PR disaster, and those are a lost cause at this point in time. Zegler is also planning to call out Disney in the next couple of weeks about her issues with them and her removal from those projects. All in all, Zegler most likely will not succeed in this legal action that she is taking toward Disney, as her PR disaster was the root cause of Disney's decision that interrupted her contract. Now, here's the problem. We know that Rachel Zegler is one that is seemingly so self-absorbed with herself as an actress and as a person, to the point where she believes that not apologizing to the public about her Snow White comments, and basically what she did with the comments about Snow White 37 and Andrew Burnap, was not in the wrong. And that is enough to tell you guys exactly how out of touch with reality Rachel Zegler really is, and how she's right up there with the others like Amber Heard, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Brie Larson, and even some other actors out there. Now, we know that there's a lot of other examples that we could go over, but what's interesting about this is the fact that Disney is doubling down on their usage of DEI and ESG regardless with the Pirates movies, and yes, they are doing that. It's going to essentially be a soft reboot to the previous 5 films that starred Johnny Depp. We also know that Bob Iger is very proud of moving away from the burden of Johnny Depp. He talked about this about 3 months ago, that they are very much delighted to see a future without Johnny Depp, because it's going to be less of a challenge for them to work with a new story. And so this soft reboot of the Pirates films, I think, is going to be a terrible disaster to begin with. But Zegler had it coming. I don't know about you guys, but her legal stance is going to go absolutely nowhere. Now, yes, some may say that she may have a shot because she was signed on via a contract for those Pirates films, for that animated movie, etc. The Snow White films are maybe one exception because they were canceled due to her PR disaster. That's one other thing. But the other films are another complex issue. So anyway, there's a lot of things happening with Zegler between herself against Disney, Sony Pictures, Lionsgate, etc. It's a mess, and I think it's another prime example of how mess of a situation it really has been for the film industry for 2023. Not just due to all the drama, but also due to the writer's strike and the SAG strikes that happened. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.